Good morning. Happy New Year. Who is ready for the Great Reset? I'm so excited to get started. So this morning, this might be like, what are we doing? We're in the kitchen. So I'm going to share with you what I like to do for detox. It's very simple and easy. Credit goes to Jared and Lau because they're the ones who introduced this to us in 2020 in the New Year, New You. So I'm starting off with, I'm using lemon. Normally I use lime, but currently we have fresh lemons off our tree. So this morning I'm going to be using lemons. And I'm just juicing half of a lemon, putting it in warm water. And then I'm going to follow that up with cucumber juice. That made a lot of juice out of just a half a lemon. Our tree is producing so many lemons, it's crazy. So one of the benefits that I've seen since I've done this is it helps with inflammation. Like whenever I have my lime water, and I try to do it every morning, but the days that I maybe just don't take the time to do it and I skip it, I notice that I have a little more inflammation. And the days that I do have my lime water regularly, my urinary tract just flushes out and I just overall feel really good. I've noticed that it helps with my skin. Let me get some warm water. So I just use this is only like a half a cup of water. And then I just add a little bit of warm water because I want it so that I can drink it quickly. Perfect. So, yeah, the benefits that I've seen with using the lime water is a lot with the inflammation and also less sensitivity when I'm fascia blasting. With fascia blasting, sometimes afterwards might feel like heavy and like maybe not swollen, maybe a little bit swollen. And when I have my lime water regularly, I feel like I'm flushing out really, really good, getting rid of those toxins that I'm stirring up with fascia blasting. So it's a really good combination. And now I'm going to show you how quick this is. So instead of just telling you about it, I wanted to show you so you can see how fast that this is. If you get up an extra 15, 20 minutes earlier in your morning, you can easily throw this into your routine. It's super, super simple. And while I am drinking my lemon water, I'm going to make the cucumber juice, and then I'm going to have that right away. So today, I'm going to be sharing with you what I do for detox. One of the things I do for detox, because I do quite a few things, but I'm going to be sharing with you this, and then we're going to follow that up with upper body fascia blasting and some FasciaYoga. So I'm excited to get started with that. Okay, so show you how fast we can make this cucumber juice. Now, what I really love about the cucumber juice is hydration. Now, some people use celery, and that's great too. I just personally love the benefits of the hydration with the cucumber juice. And it just overall makes me feel so good. I feel like I have more energy. I'm so excited to be a part of this. Thank you so much, Ashley and the team, for inviting me. Kind of a big deal. Sometimes the cucumbers, I'll use 3, but most of the time I just use 2. It doesn't look like these two are going to make a whole lot of juice, and that's okay. And that is how simple it is. Just warm lime water first thing in the morning, or lemon, whatever you have. Detox your, just at a, I feel like it detoxes at a cellular level and flushes out the urinary tract. And I notice a reduction in inflammation, less sensitivity to blasting, and also, so I am a FAA graduate, and I do professional fascia blasting, and most of my clients who are interested in detox, I share this with them, and I can tell such a big difference when they have the lime water from 1 week to the next. When they come back, I notice their face will have less inflammation. Sometimes their skin looks more clear, and they're also less sensitive when I'm blasting them. So that's really, really, really awesome. And then when they kind of fall off of the wagon, so to speak, and they are not having the lime water regularly, and then the next time we blast, and then they're super sensitive. So that is like the biggest thing that I've noticed with the lime water and those who do it regularly. So I put the pulp back through the second time just to squeeze out every ounce of juice that I can. Now I've had my lime water, and sometimes I wait like 15 minutes between the lime water and the cucumber juice. And that's why I like to drink the lime water, make the cucumber juice, and then that gives me a little bit of time in between. If you don't have a juicer, you could probably use a blender and a cheesecloth and squeeze it out. All right, now I'm going to take the cucumber juice and we're going to move on into my FasciaYoga room. All right. Hopefully you guys can hear me. My phone is saying I have slow connection. Let's see. I'm going to take my phone off here. So here is my room. I have my sauna. Grab your yoga ball if you have one, the FasciaYoga ball, the peanut, and your blasters, your oil, a towel. There we go. Sorry about the transitioning. Okay. All right. I highly recommend heating up prior to blasting. I already did my heating up in the sauna earlier, and then I took a hot shower. So I feel like I'm pretty good and warm and ready for some fascia blasting. And I'm going to sip my cucumber juice out of my coffee cup. What does this say? I really need a day between Saturday and Sunday. That's the truth. All right, so I'm going to get started on the neck. I'm not sure if the lighting is good in here. How is the lighting? Is that helpful? That's helpful. Okay. So we're going to begin with the face blaster and Ashley's oil. Just begin with the arms. I like to get oiled up like as much as possible everywhere. That way I can wipe my hands and not have to get all oily again. So undo this. My traps are really tight this morning. Oh, doing the upper body is perfect. Get the oil right into the jawline in here. I'm not going to do my face, but I am going to do the neck and right up to the jawline. My skin is soaking up the oil. Okay. So starting with whatever small claw of your choice. I love the face blaster because it's small. It can get into all the little grooves. Just starting right there on the jawline. I'm actually tipping it a little bit sideways and just using the side of the claws to get right underneath the jawbone. Just using a light and brisk, not going too deep just yet. I like to do light and brisk everywhere and then make a second pass around and go a little bit with just a little more pressure. I like to keep the pressure level, sensitivity level at like maybe a 3 or 4 on the second pass around. The first time, nothing, just light, brisk. See, I'm already turning pink. That's what we're looking for. Just create some blood flow. These areas get so tense and tight. I'm in school, and so a lot of it is online. And if you are an office worker or do things online, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just get super, super tight. And plus the work that I do, because I fascia blast people, so like this right arm is just constantly like moving. So this shoulder is just a constant, I'm constantly working on it like all the time. Taking the claws and getting right up to the clavicle bone and pulling away from it. I'm always kind of like combing away from the bones. And that area is already pink, so mission accomplished, and just keep right on going. Get this area to turn pink. Perfect. All right, we're going to go back to the neck and do that a little bit more. Right to the back of the ear, underneath the skull. I don't have enough oil there. Oil and heat, very important. Okay. Just using light and brisk. For now, the first pass, we're just going to do light and brisk. I'm getting right up to the hairline. So you can kind of try to identify where you're feeling tightness from. Take your chin to your chest Not too tight there. Take your chin and look up. Okay, I'm feeling some tightness right in here. It's pretty common. This here ties right into here, and this is where I'm usually tight. So I'm going to spend a little extra time there. And now if you take your left ear to your left shoulder, maybe move it around a little bit, not too bad. A little bit of tightness in here. Taking your right ear to your right shoulder, not too tight on the left side. So the right side is a little more tight, so I'm going to spend a little extra time there. So when you identify the tight areas, and then you kind of know where, like, okay, I want to spend like 5 minutes on that side, and the other side maybe we just spend a minute there. And I'm using a little more pressure now because this side needs it. And that tightness was right in here, and I can feel a little band of tight fascia in there. So I'm gonna take the little claws and dig right underneath the jawbone. And you can see I'm just right on the edge of the bone. I'm not digging into the neck. I'm right on the edge of the jawbone. And then I'm taking those two little claws and just combing away. Now let's see if it's still tight. Nope, it is not. That released it. Okay. Both sides are released. So that's awesome. You can totally just release your fascia, and that took like, what, barely a minute. My chest is pink. I think we're ready to go down the arms. I'm going to do my hands a little bit. Just super quick. Using light and brisk motion very quickly. Now do you see like how the muscle like indents right in here? I like to take the claws and like kind of cut right into that groove. All the way up the delts. I like to create a stretch in the back of my arm. I said I'm going to go light and brisk, and I'm pressing hard. I can't help myself. It just feels so good. Like once you get past that first layer and it starts to turn pink and you're not sensitive anymore, and then you can start using a little more pressure. It feels incredible. Take the oil right down here into the lats. You see this area right in here? This is an area that often gets missed, but it's very important. So just take your claw, small claw here, kind of tip it a little bit sideways, right in there. So I'm not going into that soft spot. I'm not doing that. Right here into the lat. This is definitely a problem area for me that needs fascia released. So right there. And that's nice and pink. I take my arm across and hug my other shoulder. And we'll get into the back a little bit better with one of the bigger tools. All right, I'm not really keeping track of the time, so we might be on here all day. I'm kidding. Well, I literally sometimes will be in my sauna and blast for like 3 or 4 hours. Kind of ridiculous. But I just get going. It feels so good, and then I keep finding more and more areas. I'm like, oh, there's a knot, there's a knot. I need to get that fascia adhesion out. So now I'm starting on my left hand. Now the left side is doesn't need as much time as the right side does. I'm right hand dominant, and so my right side gets a lot of use. So I'm gonna make a fist and kind of flex my muscles here and get right into that groove. I like to cut and sculpt the muscles. I do professional fascia blasting, and a lot of my clients are athletes and competitors, and so I sculpt and cut out the muscles and get the deep lines into the muscular. And you can sculpt out your muscles even without working out. I know I started fascia blasting in 2016, and I was fascia blasting for like 3 years before I ever hit the gym, and I was sculpting out my muscles. I would constantly be like flexing and blasting, and it helped to tighten and tone. So you see that is already getting pink. It feels so, so good. So we're going to do the same thing in here. Get right in there. Not the soft tissue, but right. You could feel, if you take a hold right in here, you can feel the muscle in there. And you might be able to feel if you have any fascia adhesions in there. This side I don't feel any. This side I do, right in there. So you can stick your fingers in there and create some movement. Feel one side to the other side and see how it feels. I always do both sides. So although this side is definitely the area that like hurts, still do both sides. I always want to be equal. So I'm going to get right in there, right in that muscle. And I'm kind of like tipping the blaster sideways. So I'm almost only using that side edge of the blaster. I'm not even putting the full thing on it. I'm using like the edge and like scraping it. Going from like right in here, right down here. Okay. And when one side gets tired, you're like, whew, that side's tired. And then my right side gets tired, then just go back and give that a little bit of love before you keep on going. Just switch back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And now I'm only using one claw, trying to just really dig in there. Okay. I think I've spent enough time on the upper body, around the arms and the pectoral. So let's move to the back.
And it's a little difficult getting oil back there, but just tip your bottle and dump. All right, we're gonna use, I love the Brush and Blast base. So here we go. First I take the blaster and I just rub it around from side to side to kind of spread the oil around. Once I feel like I have oil everywhere, and then ready to go. So first I have, I'm going to turn around so you can see, straddling the spine. That feels really good. Sometimes when like I'm working on the chest and the pecs and it's just not really relaxing, and then I go do my back and work on the traps, and then the front relaxes. So sometimes you might be feeling tight in your chest, but it's actually the opposite side, your back, that's causing it. So I always want to do both sides. See how I have it tipped here? Right there. That's an incredible spot to get. Starting to feel it heating up. And now I'm only using one side of the claws, and I'm trying to get right into the scapula, where the scapula and the trap meet. If you can see right there. You can see where it turns red. That's where I was trying to get into. Feeling some tension in there. And now, bring it underneath your arm and get into that area more. Okay, that's feeling released. We're going to go to the other side. Have to kind of relax the shoulder. There we go. I get it to relax. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. And my left side is definitely doesn't need as much time as my right side does. Okay. So that feels good. Feels like I did enough there. So now moving on to the stomach and the lower back. Okay. I'm going to use Ashley's oil for my stomach. Get that extra kick of fat burning. I love how it smells. Okay. Oil up your right down the hips, the lower back. That all nice and oily, because we're going to use this Brush and Blast base and go super quick. I love these big tools to get certain areas because it just speeds up the process. And so blasting my stomach, the entire time I am contracting the muscle. Like I'm not just hanging loose, I'm contracting the muscle. It feels so weird if I just relax my stomach. So I'm clenching, actually kind of clenching my glutes. Getting a glute workout and a stomach workout at the same time. Slight lean back. You can even do this lying down. I just kind of prefer standing up, but you can do it lying down too. And see, I'm kind of tilting it sideways, brushing up. And then let's do the diamond, coming all the way back. My stomach is feeling really hot. So once you're, like the tissue is like feeling hot, then you know you've completed that. So getting into the hips. Find the best way that you can get a hold of that. Maybe you have some extenders to put on. My hips aren't feeling too bad, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time there. And I'm going to grab the big claw, so whatever big claw you have, and I'm going to do a very fast pass over everything that we've done so far. The arms. That feels really good. The different feeling from the small claw to the large claw. It's very invigorating. It feels really good, energizing. Go right into the traps. Oh my goodness, that feels so good. I'm using a lot of pressure now. I'm kind of putting more weight on this side, right into that scapula. I'm putting more pressure in there than I am on the other side. So just play with it and see what feels good. That feels like 100% better. Let's do the other side quickly. This side really doesn't need it. So once you've completed both sides, your upper body is done, and then you do the stomach same way. Feeling a little like the heat, stomach and tissue is feeling super hot very quickly with the large claw. Okay, we're done with that. We're almost completely done. Just going to show you two more things with the nugget. Okay, with the nugget, I like to get right into the hip bones and kind of pull the fascia away from the hip bones. It straddles perfectly, like right. I love how the Pro Nugget, the size in between the nuggets. It's very good for like sculpting and carving. See how pink that turns? If you feel around, you can try to like see where you have any adhesions. Like, do you feel anything? And then I also like to use it right in here. Like straddle that muscle. Just do a little bit of sculpting. So I use it overall, just blast full body with the nugget, but then I also like to use it to carve. Can you see? So, and I love using it right in here in the scapula and the shoulder to just comb away. That feels so, so good. Oh, do you see how I just relaxed? Like this area was starting to get tense again just from me using my arm a lot to blast. And so I come back to it and give it a little bit of love. And I just feel myself like relaxing immediately. So there we go. You can use the nugget more if you want to, but we're gonna now go with flushing using the brush booster. And we're just going to flush everything, starting from the fingertips, and we're just going to flush everything upwards towards the heart. I feel chills running through my body doing this. Like I just feel like I got flushed. It feels so good. This is a really great like finishing touch to use this, or if you're super sensitive, this is a great way to desensitize the skin. Just light and brisk desensitize. So you can use it at the very beginning, you can use it at the very end to just flush everything out. And this is also my favorite tool to use as a face cleanser. Every morning, every night, I put cleanser on my face and then I use this and just very light and brisk and smooth out the skin. Okay, so this on, fingertips. Oh, that feels really, really good. Now I can't do my whole back with this. Ooh, you know what would be really cool? If Ashley made one of these in a full length. That would be neat. Yeah, then I could do my whole back. Okay. So now, brushing downwards and then brushing upwards. All right. That completes the fascia blasting. I don't think I skipped anything, right? Okay. So now get set up for some fascia yoga. Now these yoga poses are going to go perfect with what we just blasted. The pecs and the chest area, the abdominal region, the lower back, get some spinal flexion. All right, let me see. Make sure you guys can see. Sorry about that close up. There we go. Ooh. Okay. All right. Which position? All right. Let's see. So for the first one, you're just going to begin seated. Make sure you can see me. Okay. So begin seated. Your feet are parallel, like railroad tracks, and just begin walking them out slowly. Make sure you're balanced. I'm not centered, so let's get centered. Balanced. There we go. Slowly walking out the feet. And then just gonna very carefully roll down Bringing your hands behind you to balance you. Just roll down. You can continue walking your feet out so your feet are straight. I'm not sure if you're able to see that. Your feet are straight. Breathe. Feel that stretch along your abdominal region. And then if you're able to bring your hands behind you over your shoulders, then bring one up over your shoulder and then the other. And then just melt into the ball. Just feel yourself completely relaxing. Let's take a few deep breaths here before we start moving. And feel if there's any areas that you're feeling tension. If you're feeling tension in maybe one shoulder versus the other. If you're feeling any tension in your hips. Does your abdominal area feel tight? Does the psoas feel tight? Because maybe you need to go back to that area and blast that some more. So if any areas are feeling tight, just bring awareness to it, breathe into it, and then go back and blast it later. So from here, I like to bring my hands onto the mat and then just slowly begin rocking back and forth. I'm going to bring my feet flat on the mat and just slowly rock back and forth, very slowly. Getting a nice bend into the spine. You can take it as far, whatever feels good, just slowly rocking. And now I'm feeling a really deep stretch right into the, right below the rib cage. So that deep abdominal fascia, feel that stretching as I rock back and forth. Alright, just slowly rock up, take your time. It's kind of upside down there for a minute.